You've been lied to by dealerships and motorcycle manufacturers. That's why most motorcycles never reach 50,000 miles. Today, I'm sharing 16 brutally honest habits that can help your motorcycle surpass the 200,000 mile mark. We're debunking the myths and sharing secrets that make dealership service writers nervous. Stay until the end because the last habit literally takes seconds but could save you thousands in engine rebuilds. Habit 16. Follow the 2,000 mile oil rule. Do you follow the manufacturer's oil change interval? Then you're slowly killing your engine. I've torn down engines that followed the dealer's recommended 6,000 to 8,000 mile schedule. What did I find? Thick black sludge coating every internal surface like burnt molasses, cam lobes worn flat, oil passages blocked, valve guides score beyond repair. The truth is, those intervals are designed to get the bike past the warranty period, not to make it last 300,000 miles. Especially with real-world riding short trips, stop-and-go traffic, track days, aggressive acceleration, your oil is breaking down way before 5,000 miles. My rule: change oil every 2,000 miles with conventional or 3,000 with full synthetic. It costs more upfront, but $50 now beats 5,000 for a complete rebuild later. Fresh oil is your engine's lifeblood, and clean blood keeps everything alive longer. Habit 15. Never cold, start, and ride hard. You think firing up your bike and immediately hitting the highway is saving time? That's engine murder. Cold aluminum expands differently than steel, creating clearances that weren't designed for high RPM operation. Push a cold engine hard, and you're scoring cylinder walls, wearing rings, and creating internal damage that accumulates over time. I've seen engines with less than 30,000 miles that needed rebuilds because the owner treated every cold start like a MotoGP launch. The damage isn't immediate, it's cumulative. Each cold thrash adds microscopic wear that eventually becomes catastrophic failure. Want your engine to see 400,000 miles? Start the bike, let it idle for 30 seconds, then ride gently for the first 5 miles. Keep RPMs under 4,000 until the engine reaches operating temperature. Your engine will thank you with decades of reliable service. Habit 14. Check chain tension weekly. A loose chain doesn't just affect power delivery, it destroys everything it touches. Too loose and it slaps the swing arm, wears sprocket teeth unevenly, and creates stress points that lead to chain failure. Too tight and it overloads wheel bearings, transmission output bearings, and can actually snap under load. I've seen chains so loose they jumped off the rear sprocket during acceleration, locking the rear wheel and sending riders sliding down the asphalt. I've also seen over-tightened chains that destroyed wheel bearings in under 10,000 miles, a $15 adjustment mistake that became an $800 repair. Check your chain tension every week. Most bikes need 20 millimeters to 30 millimeters of slack measured at the tightest point. Clean and lube every 300 to 500 miles depending on conditions. A well-maintained chain and sprocket set can last 30,000 miles or more. Neglected ones die in 8,000. Habit 13. Use the correct fuel octane. Higher octane doesn't mean better performance, it means different combustion characteristics. Your bike's engine is designed for specific octane ratings, and using the wrong fuel can cause problems you'll never see until it's too late. Too low octane causes knock and detonation, creating pressure spikes that crack pistons and damage bearings. Too high octane can actually reduce power and cause incomplete combustion, leading to carbon buildup and fouled plugs. Both scenarios shorten engine life. Check your owner's manual and use exactly what's specified. Most modern bikes run fine on 87 octane despite what the dealership tells you. High performance engines might need 91 or 93, but don't guess, verify. Your engine was designed around specific fuel requirements, and deviation costs, power, efficiency, and longevity. Habit 12. Never skip air filter changes. Your air filter is your engine's first line of defense against contamination. A dirty filter doesn't just reduce power, it changes the air-fuel mixture, causing the engine to run lean and hot. That excess heat accelerates wear on every internal component. I've pulled apart engines where the air filter was so clogged it looked like a dirt sandwich. The result? Scored cylinder walls, worn rings, and valve seats that looked like they'd been sandblasted. All because a $20 filter was ignored for 20,000 miles. Replace your air filter every 6,000 to 8,000 miles in normal conditions, more frequently if you ride in dusty environments. A clean filter protects your engine and actually improves fuel economy. It's the cheapest insurance policy your motorcycle can have. Habit 11. Monitor cooling system religiously. Modern motorcycles run hotter than ever before to meet emission standards. That means your cooling system is working harder and has less margin for error. Ignore it and you're one overheating incident away from a destroyed engine. Check coolant level monthly and look for leaks around hoses, radiators, and water pump seals. Replace coolant every 2 years, regardless of color or appearance. Coolant doesn't just transfer heat, It prevents corrosion and lubricates water pump seals. Old coolant becomes acidic and eats your cooling system from the inside. Never mix coolant types or colors. Green, red, blue, yellow, they're chemically different, and mixing them creates sludge that blocks passages and destroys water pumps. Use exactly what your manufacturer specifies, and your cooling system will protect your engine for hundreds of thousands of miles. Habit 10. Keep tires properly inflated. Tire pressure affects more than just handling. It affects the entire motorcycle's mechanical systems. Underinflated tires create excessive rolling resistance, forcing your engine to work harder and run hotter. They also flex more, generating heat that breaks down rubber compounds and shortens tire life dramatically. Overinflated tires reduce contact patch, affecting braking performance and creating uneven wear patterns. They also transmit more road shock to wheels, bearings, and suspension components, accelerating wear throughout the chassis. Check tire pressure weekly when tires are cold. Most sport bikes run 36 to 42 psi depending on load and conditions. Touring bikes might need different pressures front and rear. Proper pressure extends tire life by 30% and improves fuel economy by reducing rolling resistance. Habit 9. Clean your bike regularly. Washing your motorcycle isn't vanity, it's mechanical preservation. Road, grime, salt, and debris don't just affect appearance, they trap moisture against metal surfaces and accelerate corrosion. That corrosion attacks bolts, brackets, and electrical connections, creating problems that compound over time. But there's a right way and wrong way to clean a motorcycle. Never pressure wash electrical components, air intakes, or wheel bearings. Use motorcycle-specific cleaners that won't damage rubber seals or plastic components. Pay special attention to areas where salt and debris accumulate: swing arm pivots, brake calipers, and suspension linkages. A clean motorcycle allows you to spot problems early. Oil leaks, loose bolts, cracked hoses, worn components, they're all easier to see on a clean machine. Regular cleaning isn't just maintenance, it's inspection that prevents small problems from becoming expensive failures. Habit 8. Inspect brakes before every ride. Your brakes are your life insurance policy, but they're also precision instruments that require regular attention. Brake pads that wear to metal damage rotors that cost hundreds to replace. Brake fluid that absorbs moisture, corrodes internal components, and reduces stopping power when you need it most. Check pad thickness monthly. Most pads have wear indicators, but don't wait until you hear squealing. Replace pads when they reach minimum thickness, and always replace them in pairs to maintain even braking force. Uneven pad wear often indicates problems with calipers, rotors, or suspension geometry. Brake fluid should be changed every 2 years regardless of appearance. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture from the air, and that moisture lowers the boiling point and corrodes brake system components. Fresh fluid maintains consistent pedal feel and protects expensive brake system components. Habit 7. Use quality fuel additives sparingly. Fuel additives can help or hurt depending on what you use and when you use it. Modern gasoline contains ethanol that attracts moisture and can damage fuel system components over time. Quality fuel stabilizers prevent fuel degradation during storage and protect against ethanol-related problems. But more isn't better. Overtreating fuel can damage fuel pumps, injectors, and sensors. Use additives according to manufacturer instructions and stick with proven brands like Stabil, Seafoam, or Lucas. Avoid Miracle Cure products that promise unrealistic improvements. For long-term storage, always use fuel stabilizer and fill the tank completely to minimize air, space, and condensation. For daily riding, quality gasoline from major brands contains sufficient additives for normal operation. Your fuel system will last longer with consistent quality fuel than with constant chemical treatments. Habit 6. Replace spark plugs proactively. Spark plugs are cheap, engines aren't. Worn plugs don't just misfire, they create combustion problems that damage catalytic converters, oxygen sensors, and engine internals. I've seen engines with less than 40,000 miles that needed complete rebuilds because worn plugs caused detonation and piston damage. Check plugs every 8,000 to 10,000 miles, even if they're rated for longer intervals. Real-world conditions, short trips, stop-and-go riding, aggressive acceleration cause plugs to wear faster than laboratory conditions suggest. Replace plugs when electrodes show wear or deposits, not when they completely fail. Use OEM or equivalent quality plugs. NGK, Denso, and Champion make excellent plugs for specific applications. Avoid performance plugs with exotic materials unless your engine was specifically designed for them. The right plug at the right time prevents expensive problems later. Habit 5. Check valve clearances regularly. Valve clearances change as engines break in and components wear. Too tight and valves don't seal properly, causing compression loss and valve burning. Too loose and valves slam shut, accelerating wear on cams, followers, and valve seats. Most motorcycles need valve adjustments every 15,000 to 20,000 miles, but high-performance engines might need attention more frequently. This isn't a job for beginners and correct. Adjustment can cause immediate engine damage. Find a qualified mechanic who understands your specific engine. Proper valve clearances ensure optimal power, fuel economy, and engine longevity. Ignore them and you're gambling with expensive internal components. The cost of regular valve adjustments is minimal compared to repairing valve train damage caused by neglect. Habit 4. Protect against corrosion. Motorcycles face harsher environmental conditions than cars. Rain, salt, UV exposure, and temperature extremes attack every exposed surface. Corrosion doesn't just affect appearance, it destroys structural integrity and creates safety hazards. Apply protective treatments to exposed metal surfaces, especially in areas where moisture accumulates. Swing arm pivots, suspension components, and exhaust systems need special attention. Use marine grade protectants in coastal areas where salt exposure is constant. Check and replace rubber seals before they fail. Cracked fork seals, deteriorated gaskets, and worn O-rings allow moisture to reach critical components. Preventive seal replacement costs less than repairing damage caused by water infiltration. Habit 3. Store properly during off-season. Improper storage kills more motorcycles than crashes. Fuel degradation, moisture accumulation, and pest intrusion cause problems that persist long after storage ends. Batteries that freeze lose capacity permanently. Tires that sit in one position develop flat spots that never fully round out. Prepare your motorcycle for storage like you're preserving it for decades. Fill the tank with treated fuel, change oil and filter, and run the engine until it reaches operating temperature. This distributes fresh oil throughout the system and burns off combustion byproducts. Store in a climate-controlled environment when possible. If outside storage is necessary, use a quality cover that breathes but repels water. Remove the battery and store it in a warm location on a battery tender. Proper storage preparation prevents months of repair work when riding season returns. Habit 2. Address problems immediately. Strange noises, unusual vibrations, changes in performance, these are your motorcycle's way of asking for help before something fails catastrophically. Ignoring warning signs turns minor adjustments into major rebuilds. That slight chain noise could be a worn sprocket that damages the chain if ignored. That small oil leak might indicate a failing gasket that could lead to complete engine failure. That occasional misfire could signal plug or coil problems that damage the catalytic converter if left untreated. Keep a maintenance log and document any changes in your motorcycle's behavior. Early intervention prevents expensive repairs and extends component life dramatically. Your motorcycle communicates constantly. Learn to listen to what it's telling you. Habit 1. Warm oil before checking level. Cold oil gives false readings that can lead to overfilling or underfilling. Both can destroy your engine. Cold oil hasn't circulated through the system and doesn't provide accurate level readings. Hot oil expands and can create false high readings if checked immediately after riding. The correct procedure: warm the engine to operating temperature, shut it off, and wait 5 minutes for oil to settle. This ensures accurate level readings and proper oil distribution throughout the system. Check oil weekly using this method, and you'll catch problems before they become expensive. Proper oil level is critical for lubrication, cooling, and component protection. Too low and oil pumps cavitate, starving bearings of lubrication. Too high and oil foams, reducing its protective properties and potentially causing seal damage. Accurate oil level checks prevent both scenarios and extend engine life dramatically. Now that you know these 16 habits that can extend your motorcycle's life beyond 400,000 miles, you're ahead of 90% of riders. But there's one more crucial element you need: how to spot the maintenance scams that waste your money and potentially damage your bike. In my next video, I'll expose the most common motorcycle maintenance myths that dealers use to separate you from your cash. Click now and protect yourself before your next service appointment becomes financial robbery.